In the whole soundscape of popular music, there's an instrument you probably hear way more often than you even realize: the flute. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on its hidden power and figure out why, in so many of our favorite genres, it seems to be hiding in the shadows.
So, let's just jump right in with a question. When you picture a killer solo in a funk, R&B, or even a jazz track, what do you hear in your head? I bet you're thinking of a saxophone, right? The flute, on the other hand, often feels like a ghost in these genres. It's there, but you don't always notice it. So what's up with that?
And you know what makes this whole thing so fascinating is the paradox at the heart of the flute. I mean, in classical music, it's an absolute titan, a core part of the orchestra for centuries, famous for those beautiful, clear, soaring melodies. But then you flip over to jazz, funk, and R&B, and it just gets pushed to the background, totally overshadowed by louder, brasher instruments. Well, the answer really begins with the physics of how it makes its sound. To get why the flute blends in while other instruments just pop right out, we need to break down its unique sonic signature.
Okay, so here is the fundamental difference. Unlike, say, a saxophone, which uses a little wooden reed that vibrates to make it sound, a flute creates something called an edge tone. Basically, the player's breath is split across a sharp edge, and that little split is what creates the vibration. It sounds like a super small detail, but trust me, it changes absolutely everything about the instrument's personality.
And that edge tone, it translates directly into the flute's sonic DNA. Its sound is smooth, it's transparent, and each note starts with a soft, kind of rounded attack. Think of it like this: a flute doesn't punch you with sound, it flows around you. Now, that's perfect for blending into a group, but it also means the flute really struggles to cut through a loud, busy mix. And that whole inability to cut through brings us right to the flute's main rival, the saxophone. To really get what the flute is all about, we first have to understand the powerful sound that became the default superstar in so many of these genres. And wow, the contrast here could not be more clear. It's like night and day. Where the flute gets its sound from just air hitting an edge, the sax uses that vibrating reed, which gives it that rich, kind of gritty texture. Where the flute's attack is soft and rounded, the sax is sharp and punchy. One is designed to blend in, and the other is built to cut through. They're basically sonic opposites. And that's why this all matters so much. The genres that really defined so much of 20th century pop music, I'm talking about these energetic, beat-driven styles like funk and R&B, they needed an instrument that could shout. They demanded that grit and volume to generate excitement and get people on the dance floor. The saxophone was, simply put, the right tool for the job. But hold on, this isn't a story about the flute's failures. Not at all. It's a story about its strengths. Because what if a genre doesn't need an instrument that shouts? What if it needs one that whispers? This is where the flute's so-called weaknesses actually become its secret superpower. Let's take Bossa Nova, for instance. It's a genre that is built entirely on subtlety. You've got that delicate dance between a nylon string guitar and a soft, intimate vocal. Now, a loud, gritty saxophone would just completely overwhelm it. But a flute can just float right on top, weaving in these beautiful, airy countermelodies. Yeah, as one source puts it so well, the flute's job here is to lend a dreamlike air and transparency to the music. In Bossa Nova, that clean, transparent sound isn't a weakness at all. It's the entire point. It's absolutely essential to the genre's relaxed, intimate vibe. And we see this exact same thing happen in smooth jazz. Here, the goal isn't really about aggressive solos or a driving rhythm. It's all about creating this comfortable, pleasant, almost atmospheric soundscape. The music is designed from the ground up to be easy on the ears, to just create a feeling of calm. And wouldn't you know it, the flute's sonic DNA is a perfect match. Its ability to play those smooth, flowing, connected melodies is ideal. Its clean tone is never harsh or tiring to listen to. And in a modern studio, you add a little bit of reverb, and that soft, breathy sound can be enhanced to create this incredibly calm and atmospheric mood. It's just the right tool for the job. Again. So, this brings us to our final conclusion. We started by asking why the flute was this ghost. But maybe we were asking the wrong question the whole time. Ultimately, what it all comes down to is this. The flute isn't a marginal or a weak instrument. It's a highly context-dependent one. It's a specialist. Its power is totally dependent on what the music is trying to do. The very things that make it a tough fit for a loud funk band, its softness, its clean tone, its rounded attack, are precisely what make it the perfect, essential voice for genres that value harmony,
beauty and smoothness over just raw rhythmic power. It's not about being better or worse, it's about being the right fit. Which, it leaves us with a final kind of fascinating question to think about. If the flute found its perfect home in genres that value subtlety, what other quiet instruments are out there just waiting for a new style of music to come along where their unique voice can finally be the star? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.